Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gamestah TV. We are back after a brief hiatus, I think about a month since the OCC Championship, and we are bringing you Wellington Secondary Schools Championship action tonight. It is a group stage match between Synergee and WC Choggith. And if Choggith's performance in past seasons is anything to go by, this is going to be a great match. My name is Chrisis, and I'm joined in the studio by none other than Pune. How's it
Hello,
going,
everyone.
Pune?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you?
The golden boy himself.
Yeah, I'm actually a ex-veteran of WSL myself. Played in the past 2 seasons, but yeah, should be excited to see these new teams and see Choggith possibly place better than third, which they've done for the past 2 seasons as well.
So here's the question, Pune. Who did you play for in the previous season? I can't remember. Just remind me.
I played for Volker, but I think the first season we went under the name Tempest, and the second season we went under the name. I can't remember the name, but yes, I have 2 triumphant rises under my belt.
Wow,
So always
wow.
good, yeah.
Nice one. All right, so let's head on into Champ Select because everything started up. And we'll introduce the teams first off on the blue side. We've got Synergee, and they are represented by Chainsaw, Zeus, King Tit. Is that King Tit? I think so. Dingus, and Kaze, or Kaze. I guess it must be Kaze. And on the red team, we've got WC Choggith representing Wellington College. We've got Kev9964, Andy's Cool 99, Ode Arjun, Dhruv, and Cheezel123. So, Poon, you'll know whether I've pronounced those names correctly or not.
Yeah, pretty good pronunciation there. Actually, a bit of a backstory. Synergee representing St. Pat's College and Choggith representing Wellington College. It's actually kind of a rivalry that dates back, back to the 1900s. Actually, it's a very big rivalry between the Wellington schools. So yeah, it's gonna be good to see who's on top. But yeah.
All right, so we have this weird thing going on in the stream at the moment. You'll see that I'm not really properly blocking the summoners because for some reason things have moved. So just apologies for that. I guess you'll be able to guess exactly who's got what summoners to start off with, even though there usually isn't a lot of variation. But unfortunately, if the players are ghosting Poon, they're going to be able to see that top lane is running Smite.
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, it's gonna be. The only difference between the teams might be the top lane Smite, but opposed to that, there shouldn't be a big difference. It's standard. Heals, exhaust, smites. Hopefully no revives, but yeah, I'm definitely open to being surprised.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be surprised. Anyway, I've taken the summoner blackout off the screen. Oh, I think it's because my window is actually in the wrong position. Yeah, that's why. Raise the window a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to put it on now. I'll just shift the window around. My LoL client has moved. Okay, there you go. That's about as best as it's going to get. Alright, so let's just have a quick look at the bans. Poon, Jana, Gragas, and Sejuani. Jana, to me, would be the only one that's going to be a targeted ban, surely, because Gragas and Sejuani are very strong in the meta at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. The support player actually, Jana not being one of his main supports over there by Cheezel, but it could definitely show a lot for the right team of Choggith, because as you see the Kinnan pick up, this shows that they're going to go for a definitely hard engage comp. Both Leon and Kinnan, you both want to get in their face, and Jana being a very big denier of engage comps.
Well,
the other 2 bans.
I mean, the weird thing though is that Jana's been banned out by the not engage comp.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So it's kind of like they've played into the hands of WC Choggith. Maybe there was some mind games going on. And, Choggith are well pleased that they don't have to face a Jana. So that's pretty cool. Ash, Thresh, and Vi are the bans that Choggith have put through. Ash, after her rework, is absolutely stomping at the moment.
Yeah, definitely showing respect to that ban. Ash's new coup. I think a lot of people just don't want to deal with that right now. And just leaving over the standard ADCs at this point. Thresh, Vi. Thresh is a big target band over to the bot lane Cheezel, as he's a Thresh main, for what I can gather. And also Vi, another engage support, another engage onto the ADC.
But again, Cheezel, of course, is on the team that banned. Oh, wow, we've just been kicked out of Champ Selects. So
I assume that picks in the
wondering what's going on there. Somebody from Synergee has dropped out of the server. And...
I think Timo misclick was the reason that
Let's quickly beep that out.
Yeah, quickly.
So somebody chose Timo, and like, well, you've got to be serious. You've got to click on Timo, and then you actually got to
Yeah,
lock in.
exactly.
So that's a
Uh,
pretty serious misclick. Oh, that was Cheezel. But Cheezel didn't click on Timo. He
yeah.
chose
Someone's restarting the client
what's
or
his
something.
face? Nunu.
Yeah. So, and we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Probably just a remake again. But yeah, interestingly enough, the Timo picked up on the side of Synergy.
Dodgy as is all I'm gonna
Exactly.
say. Dodgy as.
Very dodgy. See what they do here. Let's see what Kathy's thoughts on the whole situation are.
Of course, shout out to Sebi Saw, who
Yeah.
is the WSL admin for this season, doing a great job lining up. It's a little bit like herding cats, I think, getting teams online at the same time.
Yeah, especially teenagers that majority of the players here they got their social lives, so it's really hard to get them all together, get them to all make a team.
Oh, kids these days,
Yeah, I know,
social
but
lives and everything.
definitely a lot of in-school competition. I mean, I can only speak for WC when it's in college, but I think they had eight to 10 teams actually tried to compete for that. I'm not quite sure. They have 3 or 4 teams from each school, but not quite sure. But yeah,
Wow, so
seven
they had
seven
their own qualifiers.
yeah, 7 cold from the pack, and only the best are allowed in. But
Man, that is pretty good. That is
yeah,
awesome. That just
yeah,
that promises excellent things for the future of League of Legends in New Zealand.
exactly. It's good to see that a lot of interest even in the high school level, and this is where it all starts really. I mean, the team that I played for last year we were top WSL, and this year they wanted to represent Victoria University in the OCCG. So big things start in small places.
So why didn't you play in that?
Because I don't attend university this year, so yeah, I couldn't
Oh, what
I
are you
couldn't
doing this
join.
year?
I'm working full time this year, so
Oh,
yeah, that's me.
fantastic. Hey,
But
hard at work.
yeah, but in the meantime, when I'm not working, just playing LoL and doing teenager's dream. But yeah, definitely gonna go university next year. Try to get into that OCCG. But yeah, very very hard tournament that was, because a lot of the players from 4N and stuff will still go to university. So some of the top Challenger Series teams is playing in the university competitions, and yeah,
Ouch.
scary stuff.
Ouch. Well, of course, Gamestah covered the OCC, a couple of rounds of the OCC actually. We
Mm,
covered the New Zealand qualifiers, so
yeah.
that was good fun. And then we actually provided streaming for the actual OCC group stage on the Saturday a couple of weeks ago, or several weeks ago, and then the quarterfinals and semifinals on the Sunday, just before the two teams that went through to the finals flew over to Sydney for the grand final. So that was great fun, and hopefully we'll get asked back by Rema Gaming to do the broadcasting for the next season of OCC. Should be fun.
Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine, Tom or Robo Santa, should I say, played top lane for the top New Zealand team, and yeah, he's still in high school but got flown over to Australia. So any guy's dream, really.
He's still in high school and he plays for
Yeah,
UOA.
yeah. I think it's his second. Oh, I think. Oh wait, Robo Santa's. Oh no, sorry, first year university, should I say?
Oh,
He can't
okay,
get in. Yeah, my bad. I'm just, yeah, but a player from WC actually, Luke. He still in high school as well, so couldn't join the OCCG this year.
Well, hey,
But two
from the
years time
sound
maybe.
there, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear that we are back into Champ Select, and so we expect to see the same bands come through very quickly, and then the same picks until right at the end when Cheezel is not allowed to pick Timo.
Okay, same band's coming through here. Standard remake. We'll see if the Timo the Timo pick still comes through, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with Timo, really, other than, he is the most hateful champion
Exactly.
in the game.
Also, it'd be a matter of which lane you'd see the Timo in. Timo mid, Timo jungle, support, ADC, top. You know, plays everywhere.
Timo can literally play everywhere.
Yeah, trick of all trades.
Although I think is what's the range of his auto attack? Is it
I think
further or
I think it's
closer than Vayne's?
I think it's on par. I think it's like 525. I think off the top of my head, but yeah, it definitely shuts Vayne out a lot in lane. With that blind shot and the poison ticking, and those shrooms late game is a pain. ADC's just getting half health off one shroom, and it's a nightmare. Extremely strong objective control, but yeah, still to see a Teemo be played properly since
Not going to
C9
see
beat
him.
him with it.
Yeah. So Cheezel just playing around a little bit and not realizing that, look, he's done it once where he's accidentally locked in the wrong champion. He shouldn't be faffing about. And he locks in the Nunu there like he should.
hmm
Of course, with this being the second round of Champion Select, they didn't actually have to select in the same order as they did. They could have just selected the champions that
Yeah,
they wanted to
exactly.
play. But never
Exactly.
mind. So we've got the two teams locked in. So Synergee, let's have a look at these lane matchups, Poon. As we start off in the top lane, we're going to have a top lane Nautilus going up against the Cho'Gath.
I actually think they yet to swap. I think that'll be the jungle Nautilus and the top lane Wukong. I feel like I might be
Oh,
wrong,
right, yeah, yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
that makes
looking
that makes
looking
a
at
lot
the
more sense.
summoners, yeah.
Yeah,
But
surely we won't have
interesting,
an Ari at bot lane.
yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that Nautilus played in the jungle position opposed to the support position because support Nautilus having a big resurgence right now.
They're running out of time.
They really are. They someone crash again, or oh maybe they just didn't pick an order properly. Is that Chainsaw going to be playing jungle? Oh, anyways, support more
Yeah, I
time.
think they must be in the wrong order, surely.
Yeah,
They forgot to order their team. So for the whole game, we're going to be referring to, well, it only really impacts the observer because you can use shortcuts to switch lanes, and you kind of develop a bit of muscle memory in terms of,
yeah.
if you double tap E, you know that you're going to go to the mid lane, focusing on one of the mid laners. But now, of course, if you double tap 3, which would normally go to the mid laner, we're going to head on down to the bot lane
Oh.
to sit. So okay, so let's play a bit of guessing games here and talk about what the matchups are going to be. So we think it's going to be Dingus on the Wukong versus Kev9964 on Cho'Gath at the top lane.
Yeah, Kev actually one of his mains being Cho'Gath. He's spamming that in solo queue. That matchup is I want to say goes even because Cho'Gath can just farm a storm with his passive in the mana sustain he has, and Cho'Gath really being impactful in the late game with his teleports and also being able to get the AOE cone on the W. But this Wukong, if he gets rolling, he'll be able to assassinate the backline extremely easily. With his ult having the best scaling on, it scales straight with AD. I think it's 1-to-1. So yeah, it's gonna be a very close matchup. If this Wukong wants to win the lane, he's gonna have to kill him within the early levels because Cho'Gath gets way too tanky once he hits that 6 and starts sticking.
Yeah, I look at a Cho'Gath in lane and he's really just very safe, isn't he?
Yeah, this like what are you left to do with? I mean, he just Qs, he just Ws. He can stand back and essentially farm a storm, and the amount of pressure you can apply is really like minimal.
Yeah. So we'll see
Wukong,
what Kev rolls first. If he mains Cho'Gath, I wonder if he maxes his W first. I remember in the early days of top lane Cho'Gath with Hotshot GG.
yeah,
He,
that
I
with
remember
Cho'Gath.
him talking on his stream about how you max W because it's a guaranteed hit when you use that cone. Let's have a look at the jungle. So we've got Nunu, the counter jungler extraordinaire. And he's going to be going up against, well, we expect it to be the Nautilus in the jungle. A jungle Nautilus, not really something that we see a lot of these days.
Yeah, I think the last time I could actually remember seeing Jungle Nautilus was when Saint played it at All Stars actually, and that was a throwback and a half. But yeah, Nunu definitely the jungler with a lot more early to mid game pressure at this point. If Andy can start counter jungling Nautilus, should I say, it's an extreme. Nautilus is an extremely weak jungler early, and his first clear is extremely slow as well. So this Nunu's probably going to dictate the early game. But if this Nautilus can get rolling, then he gets extremely tanky, extremely fast, and it's going to be really hard for Choggith to kill him. And with the CC that Cho'Gath, I mean not Cho'Gath, should I say, Nautilus offers, this ADC is probably going to get locked down pretty fast.
Okay, into the skin battle now. So, Poon, you would have watched previous matches that Gamestah has done, and you know that we like to focus a little bit on the skin
I
battle
do, I
because
do.
we know that it's really about who looks the best, and that's the
Exactly.
first victory that has to be won.
It's always
So,
about the looks. Okay, so quickly just come to the loading screen here. Awesome.
and just paying a little bit of shout out to everybody who's watching us in Twitch at the moment. And well, we got somebody saying that NZL Gooseboy is saying that our Wukong on the server today is the best Wukong in OCE. So
Well,
it's going to be a close match.
it's going to be an extremely close match. And Silver actually leading down the top side team right here. They're not without a skin. So we have 4 skins up on the top side, and we have 3 on the bottom side. So I guess Synergee wins in the skin battle here.
Congratulations on your first foreskin. We used to at the beginning of Gamestah broadcast, we used to play a disclaimer about rude language and things like that. We don't do that anymore, but we really should, especially
bring it
because
back.
I'm pretty sure that teams actually specifically pick 4 skins so that we talk about it.
We're talking about
On stream.
teenagers here, so it wouldn't be a surprise.
So shout out to Deez and a shout out to Lazur from our Twitch viewers.
You got some WC wins in the chat here by Eater of the Worlds. But we'll see. It's going to come down to the skill matchup.
The skin matchup, did you say?
Oh, skin skill. I guess it's a
Underworld
mixture of the
Wukong,
two.
I've never seen that, so that's pretty cool. Ghost Bride Morgana, nicely in theme. Challenger Ari though, is that's one of the skins from? No, it's not one of the skins from.
No, it's not one of the skins from being gold and above.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
if it was, he would have it because he's diamond last season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the mid lane matchup. I think it's like the Kennen versus Ari.
Bonus points to Kev if he plays us some music for dancing.
Yeah.
Wow, who's taking long to load? Yeah, it's like who's not at 100%.
Oh, I think it's
Oh,
Kev
it's
right
Kev.
here. Yeah,
Oh my
Kev.
god.
His technology not up to par. Even though he's playing Battlecast. Kind of ironic there.
So, yeah, he needs to put in an application for a PC upgrade grant
Most definitely.
from the superiors in the household.
So quickly looking over to this bot lane that we haven't covered yet, it's going to be the Morgana, Sivir versus the Lucian Leona. Quite interesting, that matchup though, because Sivir Morgana, a very safe lane, spell shield and another spell shield obviously, and hopefully this Morgana can get down the spell shields before the Leona gets that stun off. But it's fairly simple, you see the Zenith Blade come out, it hits spell shield, or the Sivir spell shields, and it's going to be able to counteract a lot of the damage and aggression that this Leona's going to want to put down. But Lucian, also known as the lane bully, we'll see if the Sivir just pushes out the lane and just tries to farm it out to the mid game, because Sivir being one of the best late game ADCs in my opinion.
Great for team fights, great for engage, and great for disengage. So I expect if Kennen initiates, we're going to have Sivir do the call of the hunt, and everyone's going to run away as fast as they can.
Yeah, most definitely. It's gonna
My prediction.
both these teams seem a bit clashy in my opinion, because both the teams want to go in. So the Sivir's going to want to pop his ult, and this Morgana's going to try to get that 5-man ult off. The Dream. The Wukong's going to want to do his Cyclone, and Nautilus going to try to pick off the ADC. But this Kennen also wants to go in. So does the Nunu, Choggith, and Leona. So I think it's going to be a scramble for the backlines by both teams.
Just a little bit of a delay there in terms of a pause, and no idea why. So I'm just going to take the opportunity to turn off my mouse. There you go. Now nobody can see the mouse. Fantastic. Good times. Good times. So our pause, but we're going. Kev is. Kevin was having an issue, I guess. He was the slowest loader, but he is in now, and we're into the match. So Synergee on the blue team versus WC Choggith on the red team. And I don't want to say stand and roll out. We've got a couple of champions meeting each other in the mid lane there and exchanging a bit of damage, Pune, but nothing really too dramatic. Hopefully you're still there, Pune.
Oh yeah, sorry, my mic was. Sorry, yeah, I was saying to myself, I think they want to push into the jungle, make sure they know where this Nunu starts, so they can dictate where he's going to go. Kind of mentally mind map where the Nunu's party is going to be like. Kind of make this Nautilus's jungle time a bit easier, because a lot of Nunus, they may start at the red and then just take the blue, then kind of 3-buff the jungler, which is not what they want, because Nautilus going to have a hard time without that blue.
And of course, Nautilus a very slow jungler as well, so Nunu could get his speed on and head on over as quickly as he can, and Nautilus at a disadvantage early on.
As we can see, we have Kev actually getting some deep warding on that blue. I think the Snoo might try to make a play on the blue, just, from that ward. It's a, fair enough assumption. But standard starts from both jungles, quickly spot. Oh, we actually have Dingus waiting for that fourth pot there, get an extra little bit of sustain there. Already having the sustain from the flask actually, but, believes that, he's going to need that extra bit to stay in lane for that, little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's probably a good call because, we were talking about how Choggith is so safe in lane, and one of the reasons he's so safe is that he has so much sustain. So, good idea there. Gets a bit of a smack on his backside there with pole. Nicely done from Dingus, and gets into things, and that's a nice trade. But straight away, look at how quickly Kev9964 has restored his health there straight away.
Exactly. Just that passive, just giving way too much free health. That carnival passive giving health and mana back on auto attacks. Or last hit, should I say.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Druve taking a huge amount of damage.
A lot of aggression going down.
Yeah, he's down to about 150 HP. As well, he must have eaten a couple of bindings earlier on and has suffered as a result. Zeus and Kingtit looking just fantastic at the moment in terms of their health.
Yeah, the bot lane by Synergee actually doing extremely well. They're doing exactly what they need to do against the Leona. You want to either get the ADC...
Oh, Druve has to use his summoner heal there just to get himself out of harm's way. But he's sticking in lane, Pune, and that's probably going to be dangerous.
It's going to be extremely dangerous, especially if they get the dive down here. The heal's already been burnt. But it's also hard to dive Leona, seeing that she has that CC on the queue. But they're doing exactly what they want to do against the Leona. You want to play that aggressive game so Leona can't engage the level 2 or 3, where she gets that added spells. And yeah, they're doing extremely well in this lane.
Druve hanging around. You can see Zeus positioning himself to try and get a binding down.
And an early gank going up top, trying to shut Kevin down on this Choggith right here. Just walking away.
Yeah, pops his W, or uses his W. What has he got in terms of pots? He's got no pots, so he's just going to blue pill now. Nice pickup there. Andy is cool. Heads on into the jungle. Well, he's still in the jungle. Sorry, that was a blue gank, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Pay attention, Chrisis.
Oh, actually, Andy is cool. Actually, taking the blue buff of the jungler chainsaw, from what I can tell, because I think he has two blue buffs over there. So Andy is cool, denying away the blue.
Druve, on a smidgen of health. He's like less than 50 HP. Before he got a little bit of a heal there from the
Targons.
From the Targons. But he's now decided, look, I'm actually going to blue pill now because things are just too close. And rightly so. So that's quite a bit of a setback. He's already... Oh, no, hang on. You just take over, Pune. I've just got to reorder these...
Oh, no worries. Yeah. So actually, it's kind of a, it's a small win by the bot lane, but... a win altogether, because he had to go for the boots, which adds no stats except for movement speed, and that's just a setback, because ideally you want to get that 55 CS bot, you want to get that BF sword on your first back, and then, power spike from then on. But interestingly enough, you got the Nunu ganking bot right here. He's opted for the poachers, which means he's going to go for that counter jungle, from what I can tell. And yeah, I think he's going to make it as Andy is cool. He's going to make it his objective to make this chainsaw guy's life a living hell.
Yeah,
so we'll
dropping a ward down and then heading on over to the dragon. So going for a nice early dragon, 5.5 minutes, and getting some help. That's actually really good play by WC Choggith, because the blue bot lane header on back, and they've taken the opportunity. So nicely done.
They've timed it really, really well. They're actually going to see this Nautilus running through, but with a Nunu jungle, the chance of you guys getting the steal was extremely low. They consume with the smite is just, like a 1k spike of, and it's going to be really hard.
Kaze in the meantime, he's going to go down. In fact,
going to get the kill.
Yeah, Kennen very, very easily. Argon dropped his ignite and then walked away. That's how confident he was that he'd done enough damage. So things looking very, very good for WC Choggith at the moment. They've got the first dragon, they've got first blood, and even though they had the first back for the bottom lane, they will not be too disappointed with the way things have gone, Pune.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually quite interesting. I think Synergee wasn't expecting that early dragon, as Riot has recently buffed early dragons. That made it a lot harder to take, but Nunu being a jungler is just going to sustain throughout the whole thing. Very good early
pressure on Druve down in the bottom lane. Zeus going in, gets a dark binding down straight away, and in comes King Tit with the follow-up. Does a beautiful
Oh,
boomerang
Kev nearly
blade.
solo killing the top lane as well. But Dingus gets away on a slither of health in that Wukong. Gets the follow-up help by Chainsaw here. And he might actually go down here.
Yeah, Chainsaw. Oh,
very
flashes
nice
away.
flash.
Beautifully done. And Andy's cool comes through, throws a snowball at Chainsaw, but decides, look, I'm not even going to bother chasing because there's no point. So great little bit of counterplay in the top lane.
Yeah, very good flash by him. And, you know, Synergee picking up those 2 kills, which are very important to get the snowball going. It's going to be interesting to see if Argon can snowball this mid lane lead. Having that Haunting guys, good pickup for Kenan.
So it's definitely Argin and not Arjun.
Oh, yeah, I think it's Argon, yeah.
And
Sorry.
you think it's Kaze or KZ or K?
Probably Kaze. Yeah.
Somebody in the Twitch channel should tell us.
Yeah, I think there's some friends in the chat that would know. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we're all open to hearing. This bot lane needs to stop getting hit by these bindings because they're getting hurt every time on the back end. Bindings just offering free Qs for the Civ all day.
And they've got really no response because Cheezel, as you pointed out in Champ Select, there are two spell shields down in bottom lane. So Cheezel is going to have a hard time actually turning things around for his ADC.
And at this point, I mean, the 2 behind it try to turn things around. If Cheezel goes in, Drew's just going to get out-bullied by the Sivir that has the pickaxe. And pickaxe is just a big, you know, not a big of a PF spike, but, you know, definitely a lot better than just Doran's Blade and Boots.
Wow, yet another binding goes down. Druve on a smidgen of health, almost less than
Zeus
100
just
HP.
weaving these bindings.
Yeah, that is just work by the bot lane support. Chainsaw, in the meantime, in the mid lane, gets pinged, and that's because he spotted a pink ward, clears it out. And
Yeah, Chainsaw surprisingly out-leveling this Nunu here. Nunu, like, dedicating a lot of his time to jungling, but still being out-jungled in terms of levels and farm.
is that because of the kill in top lane?
I think, yeah, due to the kill top lane and also taxing a bit of the lane farm, that definitely got him in the hidden lead, but Andy's actually going to get caught here at the blue. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's going to stick around as the Nunu does. He's confident that he can take away, and in fact he does. But there's CC for days from Chainsaw. Well, he is level 6, so he drops it down. The flash from Andy is cool, comes through. He's going to get caught. Drops a blast. Oh, gets a charm and gets taken down. Kaze picks up the blue buff that was stolen.
Yeah, extremely well played by Kazi there, flashing for the charm. And yeah, I think Andy is called a bit too high risk there in the enemy jungle, knowing that he saw him, and you know, not be able to get out of there at the end.
And he kind of needed to flash earlier, so he could have done a couple of things a little bit better. The first thing is not stand in the brush there while he was taking the blue. He could have drawn the blue out through this passageway area. And the second thing is he could have flashed earlier, I think.
Yeah, extreme. Yeah, I feel if he stood closer to the mouth of the exit, and also, you know, used that movement speed from the poacher's blade, then I think he would have, or poacher's knife, should I say, he'd be able to, you know, run towards Baron Pit, maybe flash over there, but he was a bit indecisive and, you know, got caught in the end. Another gank going towards top lane, putting a lot of pressure there. Kev obviously bullying this Wukong, but yeah, see if this gank goes.
Whoa, Kev9964 trying to be all tricksy. Dingus is really low though, so he pops his ulti and gets out of there as quick as you can. And now it's up to Chainsaw to get his CC for days down. But unfortunately, no ulti, Pune, so he's got to turn around and walk away with nothing.
Yeah, Nautilus's damage actually, you know, quite lacking in the early game. And without the Wukong to follow up with the damage, it's gonna be hard for him to get the kill across. But Nunu was close to help. I think he's just taking his red now. On mid lane, bit of pressure. Cheezel making the roam.
And forced the flash. Yeah, nicely done from the pressure of Zeus that followed him up and forced him into a difficult spot. Kazi with a nice charm and forcing that flash out. So that's good for bottom lane for WC Choggith.
Yeah, I think a lot of pressure is being, just like I said, a lot of pressure being placed mid because this dragon actually coming up in 30 seconds, Chrisis. What do you think of? Oh,
nice flash from Zeus. Well, no, it couldn't have been a flash. Somebody flashed. And the ulti comes down, locks up Andy's core. We've already had Kenan go down, but everybody's arriving in the mid lane now. Kev9964 comes through. He's not going to be able to save the jungler, and in fact, he's not going to be able to do anything besides eat and exhaust.
sandwiched here. Yeah, Drew actually picking up the kill on the back end of that. And probably going to translate this into a dragon. This is spawning in 1 second.
Yeah, and I think what are we're going to have Nunu back up in time to head on down to the dragon as well. So nice safe situation. Chainsaw is still up though, so he'll get a ward down on the dragon and might try to harass things. But very, very curious. We've got a ward right here, and it's going to spot Droog and Cheezel blue pilling.
Yeah, they definitely need to start picking up their pink game as because pink ward, it's also a ward that lasts indefinitely, until it gets cleared. But also, it offers an area where they have no vision, which is extremely strong. As you can just take objectives for free, you can recall for free.
Chainsaw heading into the mid lane, gets gets the anchor up the backside of Kennen, and but Kennen gets away. So everybody seems to have lost interest in the dragon for now. Oh, here we go. We got a little bit of a convergence going on, Pune. But, well, it's anybody's game. It's 3 versus 3 at the moment. Both top laners don't have their TP, I don't think.
Yes, it's gonna be the bot lane, the mids, and the jungles competing here. But I kind of feel that this Nunu's gonna have an easier time securing this dragon with his consume. Nunu being an extremely high counter jungler to steal a buff away from. But yeah, surprisingly enough, Choggith actually not opting to take the scuttle, which offers an area of movement speed, and yeah, just Synergee getting that across is going to be important for the team fight if that comes out of there.
Yeah, it's just curious as to what the teams are actually trying to achieve at the moment. Synergee gets position on the dragon and then doesn't actually use it, and I wonder if that's to do with the fact that they don't have a way of clearing wards at the moment, and so they've decided, well, we don't know if there is a ward there or not, we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely smart, cautious play there by them. I feel if they don't need to force a dragon, but if they might just play counteractively.
Got the ulti pop down from Dingus onto Kev, but Kev then flashes away. So he's got
binding
no flash.
actually hit. The binding. Oh, this fight bot lane. Both ultis being popped, and Droog maybe just living on the miss. Yeah, Droog just on the littlest amount of health again. Both bot lanes burning both their ults. And they might turn this into a dragon right now. Actually, no, top lane, Chainsaw is there, trying to kill Kev again.
Well, I don't know why Kev didn't actually leave lane at that time. He was really quite low. And he burned his splash in the previous one. Gets himself out there, but Chainsaw says, nah, that's alright. I'll pop my, what is it? It's his E, is it?
Yeah, I think it's, what's the name? Riptide? Yeah, Riptide.
Yeah, Riptide on his E. And picks up the kill there. So Kev, having a bit of a hard time in the top lane. Just while we're in the pause, 14.5 minutes just about, and we've got a 2,000 gold lead for Team Synergee.
Yes, it's gonna be put into a bigger lead if they can snowball that into the mid game. But the lead's in the good places. We've got the jungler, the top laner, and the ADC extremely strong at this point, and Sivir, Morgana, and Nautilus, all champions that can snowball leads extremely well. We see the itemization of the Lucian right here. It's something I wouldn't agree with the Zeal buy. The Zeal amplifies your attack speed, which assumes you already have damage, but with only the pickaxe, against his name, it's not much damage to deal out. So what are your thoughts on this mid lane matchup? Do you think the Kennens are a lot stronger than this Ahri at this point, or?
Well, the thing is Kennen in the mid lane is quite a rarity these days. Yeah, you don't see him. So I'm just trying to think of the last time I saw a matchup between these two. The nice thing is that Kennen likes to get in range. He's got to get in range to engage, and that means he's going to have a predictable path when he tries to engage. So the Ahri gets to throw out a charm and get the hell out of dodge before the Kennen is able to drop down his ulti. So I would say that Kazi should have the advantage, but of course that isn't the case because Argon has killed him once already.
Yeah, Kazi in these team fights is going to be trying to assassinate, or obviously Droog, or there's no other carries. Droog and Argon being the only damage dealers, or significant damage dealers in the team comp of Choggith. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can get that charm across, get into the back line and assassinate. But it should be fairly easy between Chainsaw and Kazi to lock up their ADC. I'm pretty sure translating to Dragon again. Bit of a Dragon dance here.
Another pause.
Comes another pause, yeah. I think
so. The last one was Argon was disconnected.
Yeah, I think Choggith having some issues with their computers or internet, or I'm not quite sure what the issue was, but
Further grants need to be
mm.
applied for, I think.
Definitely.
I wonder how many of these guys are actually on cable and how many are on something else.
I
Because
don't
of
know,
course you've got cable in Wellington, right?
yeah, but cable and fiber are kind of how do I say? Very, not rare, but it's not as abundant as you'd think. Only
Really?
in only in like the CBD and business areas. Like I lived in C-Tune, which is people from Wellington would know where that is, but the only thing around was like ADSL. It wasn't even VDSL.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. We
Wellington
we
no
are
longer
spoiled
has
for
internet.
choice down here in Christchurch. A lot of areas now have fiber option. In my street, in fact, you can get fiber or cable. So I'm on cable. I have been for ages, and will probably be for a while. I
Yeah, a
think
friend of mine. I'm
yeah.
not sure if it's. Oh, I think it's in Dunedin. He has like Gigatown or something. Where he has like 900 like megabytes per second like download speeds, some ridiculous numbers like that, and I'm just so envious of
It's
that, man.
crazy. 900 down,
Yeah,
500 up is what
yeah,
Gigatown is.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, I want that in Wellington. But yeah, a man can dream. Okay, the pause actually resuming here. So this Kennen, an item that he's going to want to get before these big team fights is actually Zonya's, so he can get that ult down without, dying straight away. But, hasn't even started on that Seekers yet. Just finishing up that Haunting, guys.
And still nobody interested in the dragon. They all kind of ran around it for a while, dropped some wards, and then went, okay, not touching that with a bar or so.
I feel like Synergee's going to pull the trigger here because we see Kev top lane without TP, but we also have Dingus bot lane. So a team fight happening now would not be a surprise.
King Tits just decides to get some vision down there and start off things himself. So gets things going, and everybody converges down. So we've got 5 players from Synergee all around the Dragon area, and it's going down pretty quickly. And WC Choggith, they've pretty much decided, look, we're not going to go for it. Well, we've got an engage going on. Argon pops his ulti, gets caught, and gets melted down. So far, it's just one that's gone down, and Irie picks up that kill. So nicely done. Andy's Cool comes in. I don't know why he popped his ulti instead of just getting out of dodge. Cheezel at the moment running, flashes over into the enemy jungle to try and get himself away. The chase is on. You could say the hunt from Sibba. And Cheezel now trying to get away, and a speculative boomerang blade. Kingtit picks up the kill there. It's 10-4 now for Synergee. They've picked up their first dragon. They've evened those things out and have transitioned now into the mid lane and will take this first turret down as well.
Yeah, that was a very unwise fight for Choggith to take, in my opinion. I mean, the number disadvantage and also the position that they had. They should have just given up the dragon and went back to farming the lanes. Let Kev balance out that dragon with getting the top lane turret. But, choosing to take the fight and obviously paying for it, that was a 4-for-1, and they lost the dragon. So, I mean, well, depending on which side you talk about, but yeah, 4-for-1 and the dragon loss is not favorable in terms of Choggith.
Well, Kev is in a little bit of trouble. He's actually gotten caught, and he's not going to be able to get away. Unfortunately, he missed one of his Qs. He took it, I think he was just guessing where Chainsaw might be, and unfortunately guessed incorrectly. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, another turret goes down, Pune, and it is now 2 turrets for 1.
Yeah, I think the reason Kev guessed is because he had that pink ward and that blue brush, but as soon as he saw that Nautilus, he should have just ran away because obviously costing him his life. And Cheezel trying to engage in the server, but too little too late. She just ran away with a spell shield. So I think Choggith is trying to pull the trigger too late, and their farm differential and goal differentials hurting them right now.
I think they're just being greedy. So if you think about it, a 4 versus 5 down at the Dragon, and they would never have got it. Like you said, they should have just taken the trade Dragon for top lane turret. Then the next thing is they take the top lane turret, and Kev decides, well, look, I'm going to take another one. And sticks around for far too long in the top lane and gets himself into a difficult position. In the top lane, Kev 9964, actually the focus yet again.
Yeah, Kev just appalling positioning right now. He needs to be warding. There's not a single ward in river, and yet he still overextends. At times when you don't see anyone else on the map, you should just be back at your turret, either farming a jungle camp, grouping up the team. And, that's 3 deaths in a row without any answer, really.
And unfortunately for Choggith, not able to respond, really, because when you've got 3 players in the top lane of your enemy team, good idea to press for something else somewhere else on the map. And instead, they do not do that. They're kind of just wandering around aimlessly. And now we have the 3rd turret go down for Synergee. They are really in command of this map at the moment, Pune.
Yeah, Synergee is taking objectives for free at this point, and Choggith having nothing in reply. I mean, when they gank 3 top, they should have been pushing either the middle turret, the bot lane turret, but they're just running on this, their jungles with their tails between them legs. And quite honestly, the only way I see them winning is just stalling out to the late game.
Well, it would be a pretty hurtful late game. They're at the moment 12-4, so trading by 8 kills. And I don't know if we'll get to the late game, because here we have yet another invade onto the blue. In fact, sorry, not yet another. It's really the first invade that we've seen, and Kaze comes through, drops his charm down onto the Nunu, and then steals the blue. Nicely done.
Yeah, the bot lane of Choggith actually not replying and helping the Nunu there, which is quite interesting. But yeah, as you can see, Synergee's team, bunching together, helping each other, and Choggith, it kind of reminds me of a bit of solo queue here.
Beautiful. Oh, great long-range binding there. And Kaze with fantastic response. Flashes forward and follows up on the binding with a charm. Absolutely locking up the defender there, that Lucian, what was his name? Drew. And takes him down. Kills him.
Oh, and 20-minute FF there. Unsurprisingly, I mean, what can you take from that game? 7k lead, 10 kill lead by the Synergee, and unsurprisingly, a surrender.
So 20 minutes and 14 seconds is all it took for Synergee to clean up WC Choggith and advance. Well, I guess they just get points. How many? They get 2 points, don't they, on the table?
Yeah, I think it's 2 points to win, 1 point a loss, or maybe 0. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I think Choggith needs to look at themselves and be like, what can we do? What can we do to fix this? Because at times that game was extremely sloppy. I mean, Kevin's positioning, Andy's jungling wasn't impactful enough with that knife. And although he was counter jungling, Nautilus did a lot more in terms of the lanes. Repeatedly ganking top and shutting down Kevin. And yeah, the bot lane needs to work on their laning in terms of not getting hit by bindings and being bullied out in the first 3 levels.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to say, don't get hit by bindings, but we've got to give credit to the Morgana, Zeus, who did a fantastic job there with the bindings. Something that I forgot to do is to ask people for nominations for MVP. So, Pune, you and I are going to have to decide who the MVP of the game is. So, do you want to make a nomination?
In my opinion, I'd have to give it over to either Chainsaw or Zeus. I mean, those bindings were game-winning in terms of the bot lane and the mid-game, but Chainsaw also doing an amazing job of shutting down Kev. So I have to leave it over to you. Those are my 2, Zeus or Chainsaw.
All right. Well, we've already talked a little bit about Zeus and those bindings, and I think that's you don't often get a support who gets the MVP, because they don't always have a great scoreline, so you don't necessarily get drawn to them. So fantastic. Let's give it to Zeus, and that'll be a $10 worth of RP from Gamestah going to Zeus. How are we going to get it to him? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I'll have to give him a code or something like that. So I'll just make a note. I'll just write it down, so I don't forget that Zeus was the MVP. And I'll talk to Sebi about the best way to get him his code. So Zeus, MVP. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Pune, thanks for joining us for your first cast with Gamestah.
No worries, my pleasure.
That was pretty exciting. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would have hoped for more than a 20-minute FF, but yeah, definitely good, casting with a veteran such as yourself. So, yeah, awesome.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with, I guess, as much WSL as we can. So if you want to get your match broadcast, make sure that you let the admins know. And talk to Pune if you've got him in your friends list. And we will line it up next week for the next round. Thanks for tuning in. This is Chrisis and Pune, signing out.